Hi there and welcome to my channel. I am doing a series of videos which are a dress sew along. I've had a few requests of doing a project from start to finish and this is your opportunity to watch that. Last week I showed you how I personally trace out patterns for my dress or whatever item I'm sewing. So in this instance I traced out the pattern for my dress. I will be attaching all the links to the videos in the description below so you can catch up on all the different videos of this series. In this week's video, I am going to cut out the fabric and I'm going to show you which fabric I'd selected and why. On the back of my pattern, it explains to you all of the different fabrics that this pattern is going to work with, and it's basically wanting like a light cotton kind of fabric, so they're wanting you to have some sort of a drape to this dress, and the fabric that I chose is this fabric right here. Now, the reason why I chose this kind of tartan look is because we are heading right now round the corner to Christmas. So I wanted something that kind of looks wintry and Christmassy, so I could actually have a dress that kind of looks all Christmassy. So that's the vibe I was going for and the time of year that I'm doing this video. This fabric may look like it doesn't have a true right side or wrong side, but when I actually look closely up to it, and if you have done a little bit of embroidery yourself, you'll notice that some of these threads are a lot more shinier than the threads on the reverse. That would be like the bobbin thread side, and then the side that they would have put this kind of pattern together. And I can tell, you can't tell on the video, but I can tell that one side is more shinier than the other side. So the shinier side would be your right side, and the less shinier side would be the wrong side. So when you're looking at your fabric, look to see if you can tell the difference between the right side and the wrong side. Some fabrics will look the same on both sides. However, make sure that once you start, you use the same right side for all of your pattern pieces than what it says on the pattern instructions. In order to cut this fabric out, you are going to need your instructions for whichever dress you are working on. So I have dress C, so I'm going to cut out the fabric for dress C. And it's going to tell me on the pattern instructions which ones are the right side, which ones are the wrong side. And it tells you all on your pattern instructions how to do that. So always follow the pattern instructions when you are making your garment. So let's start attaching the fabric to our pattern pieces. When making garments, it's always a very wise idea to pre-wash your fabrics. Now I know that I'm going to make this dress a little bit too big, and I don't think that this fabric is going to particularly shrink a great deal. But if you are using something that is going to shrink a great deal, probably just go and Google the fabric to see the shrinkage that fabric is going to do. Then I would highly recommend that you pre-wash your material and then you're ready to cut all of your pieces out. Here we go, I have a few of my pattern pieces in place. Now what I don't want you to do is, see here where I've got this great big massive gap, I don't want you to say you have this sleeve. Now it's telling you that the grain line, they won't go across. So don't think that you can now place this pattern piece here. One thing that I would like to point out is, if the pattern shows you that it has to be on a grain line, that's very important, because if your material has any amount of stretch on it, where most materials do actually have a stretch when they're cut on a bias, do not place this fabric like this. It has to be on the grain line. So it has to be going across like this. So even though we have this space here, we can't use it because there isn't enough fabric on this grain. Please don't lose too much sleep over how accurately you cut these pattern pieces. As long as you are thereabouts along the pattern, you're good. So just start cutting away. As long as you pin or overpin your pieces, you will be fine and dandy. I now have all of my pattern pieces all cut out. Let's have a look. These are my pattern pieces all cut with the fabric attached. I am not going to remove any of these papers away from the fabric parts, and the reason why is because life happens and you may not be able to get to your pattern for like a week, 2 weeks, 2 months. So always make sure that you keep your pattern pieces together with their numbers so you know what goes where when you come to want to sew. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video as much as I have enjoyed making it, and don't forget, leave a comment down below because I personally enjoy to read them, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my next video. So join me again next week for this series of sewing a dress.